What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P, back here once again. And you know what that means? That means that the Motor City Cats, we back at it. We came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. We got a pretty packed show today. We're going to be running down the free agency moves of all the teams. We're going to be going on a grade sheet that we have from one of the beat writers and so on and so forth. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. What up, though, Zach J? Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you are in the chat and you can't chat. It means you got to subscribe. So go ahead and subscribe and do the thing that we all need you to do. Okay. And we do have a super chat goal of 10 super chats, any color. It doesn't matter what they are. And we're going to be doing a meet and greet in and around training camp. I plan to be back in Detroit for training camp. Late August, right? Last week of training camp, to make sure that, we can try to meet some of the players and all of these things. So make sure you get those super chats in. We're going to try to fund it. Bobby Stark, what up, though? All right. So before we get into these free agent grades, I just want to address something. I just saw a comment on one of my videos, and somebody said that they don't think that I watched the games. I need to go back because the defense was great after the Dallas game when we lost Hutch, blah, 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 blah. Fantastic. And he's like, oh, it was bad. It was bad in the Buffalo game, but then it was good right after. Here's my point about the Detroit Lions defense. With all the injuries that we had, Buffalo was the type of team that you needed to beat to win a Super Bowl. That's just the point. So, okay, if it was good against all of these teams that you didn't need to beat to win a Super Bowl, but then you get to the Super Bowl type of team, the Super Bowl caliber team, and the defense wasn't good. I mean, we lost 3 people in that game, right? We lost Aleem McNeil. We lost Carlton Davis. That's when he broke his jaw. We lost Monty for a few games. Like, I get all of that. My point is that Buffalo is the type of team that you need to beat in the Super Bowl. So if you can't beat those types of teams because your defense is too injured, that's my point. Okay? And the other point is that Hutch went down in the Dallas game and was the sack leader for the rest of the season. That's all. That's my point. We can't get to the quarterback. Like, y'all tell me, am I wrong in saying that we can't consistently get to the quarterback outside of Aiden Hutchinson? Am I saying something which is untrue about the Detroit Lions? We cannot consistently get to the quarterback. What up, though, Tactical Sport? Outside of Aiden Hutchinson. Am I wrong? Am I telling y'all a lie? That's all I want to know. All right. Tactical Sport says, nope, you all right. Okay. All right. I'm just saying, because people telling me I don't watch the games. I'm a casual. All right. Cool. No problem. All right. Let's go ahead and get into these free agents. Let me pull up my report here. I got reports. You know what I'm saying? I got reports. Let's see where we at. All right, got it here. Okay. Got the report. All right. All right. I'll just do it. I'll do it this way. I put a report together. I have a grade sheet. Should I put the grade sheet up? Do y'all want to see the grade sheet? Let me put that up for y'all. 1 second. That way I don't have to keep flipping back through my phone and, all these things. All right, let me put this up for you. And the way that I have it done in my phone is that it goes division by division. So the grade sheet is going to show you, whatever, probably from the highest to the lowest grades. And that's how he ordered them. But I'm looking at them in a different way. All right. So we'll do that to make it easier for us to understand what's going on. All right. So we're going to go ahead and put this up here. All right, let's open this up. Zach J says you're lying. Yeah, you know. All right, let me see. Come on now. All right, here we go. Having the sandstorm of the century here in El Paso. People are driving like we have a foot of snow. I know you know about sandstorms. Being over in the Middle East, I know you know about them. All right, let me pull this window up and let's get started with this. All right, let me put this over here. Okay, so this is Bladen Kirk's free agency report card. Oh, okay. Well, I minimized it. All right, gotta keep it over here. Oop, I put it on the screen. Okay. All right. Here is the free agency report card from Bladen Kirk. I don't know who Bladen Kirk is. Okay. If y'all know who Bladen Kirk is, shout out. All right. So I'm going to start, as I said, we're going division by division. So I am going to be starting in the AFC East. Okay. Because that's how my report was created. All right. So AFC North, sorry. No, AFC East. Okay. All right. So the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills start off with a B plus. So it says the Buffalo Bills have prioritized maintaining their core group of players, securing long-term extensions for key contributors on both sides of the ball. Quarterback Josh Allen signed a substantial 6-year extension worth $330 million. On the defensive side, the Bills extended the contracts of edge Greg Rousseau for 4 years at $80 million. Linebacker Terrell Bernard for 4 years at $50 million, and wide receiver Khalil Shakir for 4 years at $60.2 million. They also retained running back Ty Johnson for 2 years at $5 million, safety Damar Hamlin for 1 year at $2 million, and long snapper Reed Ferguson for 4 years. Cornerback Dane Jackson and wide receiver return specialist Laviska Shenault also re-signed with the team. To address their pass rush, the Bills signed veteran edge Joey Bosa to a 1-year, $12.6 million deal. They further added to their offensive options by signing wide receiver Josh Palmer to a 3-year, $36 million contract. Defensive tackle Michael Hoecht, I guess, Hoecht, I don't know, Hoecht, Hoecht, I guess, for 3 years at $24 million, and defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi for 1 year at $8.3 million. Running back Darrington Evans and offensive guard Kendrick Green also joined the team on 1-year deals. The Bills made a trade acquiring cornerback Kaiir Elam from the Dallas Cowboys. This move potentially aims to add depth and competition to their secondary. In a corresponding move to free up cap space, the Bills released veteran edge Von Miller. This release likely facilitated the signing of Bosa as the team body. Okay, so they got a B plus for all those moves. Okay. Yeah, I never heard of him either. What up though, Jesse fan? What up though, Can't Press? All right, the Miami Dolphins. Where are they at on this list? What do I have here? Move this up. Okay. I mean, Bladen Kirk works for FanDuel, so I mean, we got that. All right. So the Miami Dolphins, they are at C. Okay, they are at C. Miami Dolphins. Let's see what they did. They signed offensive lineman James Daniels to a 3-year, $24 million contract, and wide receiver Nick Westbrook Akine for 2 years at $6.5 million. Okay. They signed Zach Wilson to a 1-year, $6 million deal. They signed Iffy to a 1-year, $4 million contract, along with offensive lineman Larry Barome and safety Ashton Davis. Running back Alexander Madison joined the team, and linebacker KJ Britt signed a 1-year deal. Cornerback Artie Burns and tight end Pharaoh Brown also signed 1-year contracts. The Dolphins retained the Dolphins. Did I say Golphins? I feel like I said Golphins. The Dolphins. The Dolphins retained linebacker Tyrell Dodson on a 2-year, $8.25 million contract. These moves come after the team released veteran players Kendall Fuller, Durham Smythe, and Raheem Mostert. The signing of Zach Wilson offers a backup option. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? I'm just trying to get to the moves. So if y'all want to know, I did this report on Google Gemini. Shout out to Google Gemini. So if you guys notice any errors, just let me know. Okay? If you notice any errors, just let me know. Google has this, Gemini has this cool deep research model, which is awesome, bro. Like, just use the deep research model. If you want to know anything about anything, just ask it to research any topic. So for those of you that like have businesses or work in the business world and you need to know something about a rival company or something and present it in a meeting, just ask the tools, man. Ask the tools. Kane Press, I do not owe you Chinese food. I don't know why I would owe you Chinese food. But if you want to get Chinese food from me, hey, hit the super chat goal, man. All right. So that was their C. They got a C for that. The New England Patriots. Patriots came in, obviously, well, they came in at a B. I thought they would come in at A, right? Came in at a B. And if you guys are wondering, yes, we talking about everything. What up though, Will Murray? We're talking about all the teams. We're gonna talk about the Lions, right? So comparison sake. It's just I don't know how I would get camel's tongue to you, bro. TaylorMade, are you talking about Gemini? TaylorMade, they re-signed your boy, number 95. Did you throw a party? All right, the New England Patriots come in at B. We know what they did. So they signed tackle Milton Williams to a 4-year, $104 million contract. Cornerback Carlton Davis for 3 years is $60 million. Edge Harold Landry for 3 years at $43.5 million. These high value contracts, yada yada yada. All right, linebacker Robert Spillane joined on a 3-year, $37 million deal. Offensive tackle Morgan Moses signed for 3 years, $24 million. The Patriots also added wide receiver Mac Hollins on a 2-year, $8.4 million contract. Quarterback Josh Dobbs for 2 years at $8 million. Edge Kayla Von Chasen signed a 1-year, $5 million deal. Safety Marcus Epps joined for 1 year, $4.4 million. Defensive tackle Kairis Tonga signed a 1-year, $2.7 million contract. Safety Jalen Hawkins, 1 year, $1.8 million. Offensive lineman Wes Schweitzer and running back kick returner Avery Williams also signed with the team. All right. They released longtime starting center David Andrews and linebacker Sloan Taki. All right. So that's what the New England Patriots did. Do y'all agree that was a B? Or do you think it should have been higher? Number 95 is a Hall of Fame bound, I guess. All right. New York Jets. The New York Jets. Okay. I'm not gonna make y'all wait until the end, right? I'm gonna go to the NFC North after this, because I realize there's a lot of other teams, right? So we'll go to the NFC North after this. So the New York Jets, they came in with a C. Let's see what they did. They signed Justin Fields to a 2-year, $40 million contract. They released Aaron Rodgers. They also signed cornerback Brandon Stevens to a 3-year, $36 million deal. They also signed Tyler Johnson, offensive tackle Chukwuma Okorafor, center Josh Myers on a 1-year deal, defensive lineman Byron Cowart, and linebacker Jamian Sherwood to a 3-year, $45 million contract. Safety Andre Sisco signed a 1-year deal worth up to $10 million. And safety Isaiah Oliver also joined the team. Defensive tackle Derek Nadi, running back Kene Nwangu on a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. Tight end Stone Smart, defensive lineman Jared Tufele, and cornerback Kevin Boyd also signed with the Jets. The release of Aaron Rodgers, blah, 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 blah. All right. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who most of those people are. I'm just going to be honest. Okay? I know who Stone Smart is. But if I am a Jets fan, which I'm not, okay, I got to believe that when you tell me that they signed Jamian Sherwood, you have to be going,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
okay? So that's why the Jets got a C. All right. Let's go to the NFC North. Shall we? All right. NFC North. They're starting with the East. Let's go to the NFC North. All right. Chicago Bears, as you can see right up top, got an A. Okay? That's what this dude, Bladen Kirk, thinks about the Chicago Bears. Tactical Sports says, I would have given them an A. I give the Jets a B just for releasing Aaron. 100%. They might should have got an A for that. All right, Chicago Bears. They traded for offensive guard Jonah Jackson from the Los Angeles Rams and offensive guard Joe Thuney from the Kansas City Chiefs. They signed edge Dayo Odeyingbo to a 3-year, $48 million contract and defensive tackle Grady Jarrett for 3 years at $43.5 million. Center Drew Dahlman joined on a 3-year, $42 million deal. Linebacker Eamon Ogbongbemiga. Ogbongbemiga? I don't know. However you want to pronounce his name, because he's on the Bears.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
Okay. All right. Cornerback Josh Blackwell. So he was retained along with defensive tackle Chris Williams, RFA tender, wide receiver Olamide Zaccheaus signed a 1-year contract, and long snapper Scott Daly also returned for a 1-year deal. Tight end Steven Carlson re-signed with the team. That's what they did, and they got an A. All right, now Detroit Lions, which y'all all have been waiting for. The Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions signed cornerback DJ Reed, quarterback Kyle Allen. I didn't like the Kyle Allen signing. Defensive lineman Roy Lopez re-signed for 1 year. Not re-signed, he signed for 1 year at $4.65 million. And offensive lineman Dan Skipper also returned. Linebacker Mitchell Agood and and tight end Kenny Yabua also signed with the team. Wide receiver Tim Patrick re-signed. The Lions retained linebacker Derek Barnes and defensive lineman Levi Onwuzurike on a 1-year, $5.5 million deal, along with offensive lineman Ezekiel Turner is not an offensive lineman. See, those are the mistakes I'm talking about. All right. These moves follow up the departure of edge Darius Smith. The Lions are focusing on retaining key players and adding depth to their defense, particularly in the secondary with the signing of Reed. You know what? You know it's bad. You know it's bad when an AI that is predicated on research does not bother to mention Marcus Davenport. Let that sink in. I'm going to turn that off right now. Bro. Because it always, every time, in the middle of the show, I'm going to tell you why that happens, right? Because that used to mean 30 minutes until the show, but since the time changed, you guys are now an hour ahead. This is why. All right. Let that sink in. That the Detroit Lions re-signed Marcus Davenport and an AI model that is predicated on research. Okay? Like, it will go through, you will tell it to find something and it'll give you a research plan. And then it'll be like analyzing however many websites. Some of the things that I've done, it's analyzed 45 websites. And that's YouTube videos, that's everything about the subject. And it did not mention that the Detroit Lions re-signed Marcus Davenport. What does that tell you? I just turned it off, Tactical. It's off. It won't happen again. Too many of these analysts, so-called analysts, don't know or bother to learn about the players. All right. So again, the AI doesn't even consider Marcus Davenport. What are we doing? What are we doing? So yeah, let's because it's the Vikings. All right. Do y'all want to hear the rest of the NFC North moves? Because there's one particular I want to talk about. So let me know if y'all want to hear the rest of the NFC North moves, and then we'll move on to something else. I'm not gonna do everybody's. I said I was gonna do everybody. So it tells you that Davenport doesn't move the needle. I project the Davenport will play in 1.5 games. That's what he played last season. Over under. Marcus Davenport 3 games this season. Over under. Y'all taking the over or the under? Let me put a poll in the chat. Let me be for real. Okay, I'm gonna be for real. I'm not gonna say 3 games. All right. So I started the poll in the chat. The over under 7 games. Marcus Davenport this season. All right. All right. So we get some for over, we get some for under. All right. The rest of these moves that happened in the NFC North. And I don't know if it's going to get to, there's one that I really want to talk about. I really want to talk about it. Let's see if they get to it. Because they didn't have the Pat O'Connor move, okay? And that's TaylorMade Media's favorite player. They did not have the Pat O'Connor move, so they re-signed Pat O'Connor very recently. He will be back. Clogging up things. And I'll get to some of these signings, but I want to get to this other thing. All right. The Packers, I don't even know what they've done, honestly, this offseason. So they signed offensive guard Aaron Banks to a 4-year, $77 million contract. Cornerback Nate Hobbs. They let TJ Slayton go, who signed with the Cincinnati Bengals. That's it. They signed Nate Hobbs and Aaron Banks, and they lost TJ Slayton. We thought the Lions weren't doing much. They ain't doing nothing. All right, Minnesota Vikings traded for running back Jordan Mason from the San Francisco 49ers. They signed offensive guard Will Fries to a 5-year, $88 million contract. It literally says Fries, Fries. Hold on. There's some stuff going on. My computer is trying to dump memory. So the chat has disappeared. I can't see it. All right. let's read everything. Reload everything. Yeah, it literally says Fries. Fries. That's what it says. All right, let me bring it back. What up, though, D Dubs? All right, pop the chat back out. Because I can't see nothing. All right, pop the chat back out. All right, we back up and rolling. All right. Every time my screen closes, that's the downfall though. I have to go back and find it. So let's see. All right. So Will Fries and defensive tackle Jonathan Allen, 3 years, $60 million. Defensive tackle Javon Hargrave, 2 years, $30 million. Safety Harrison Smith was retained on a 1 year, $10.25 million deal. Running back Aaron Jones re-signed for 2 years at $20 million. Cornerback Isaiah Rodgers joined on a 2 year, $15 million deal. Center Ryan Kelly signed for 2 years at $18 million. Defensive tackle Tavier Thomas and offensive tackle Justin School also signed with the team. Is that the Justin School that Aiden Hutchinson absolutely schooled and cooked for like 3-4 sacks against Tampa Bay? Is that the same dude? I hope so. Along with linebacker Eric Wilson, they released center Garrett Bradbury and traded offensive lineman Ed Ingram to the Houston Texans. The Vikings have made significant moves. All right. So they didn't put the dude in there. Here we go. And I had to talk about this. Y'all knew I had to talk about this. Pull up a chair. It's about to get comfortable. Well, y'all need to get comfortable. Pull up a chair. The Minnesota Vikings have signed one Jeffrey Oh Hell No Kuda. Yesterday, if you guys were here, you saw me praying for days like this. Okay? And I don't really want to quote any lyrics from that guy. That's a completely other thing, okay? But y'all saw me talking about it. Y'all saw me begging for it to happen. Jeff Oh Hell No Kuda of the House Oh Hell No is now back in the NFC North. I don't think this man is driven by revenge. I don't think he wants to get back. The question D-Dub says, we bring it back to Darius Smith. I hope we can. 100%, I hope we can too. I will be happy. I don't think this man is driven by revenge. I don't take too many victory laps. I told everybody when they drafted this man that I didn't know who he was. And then when I watched the tape, I was not impressed. And then while I was watching him play as a rookie in Detroit, that he looked like he had never played football before. He looked like he had never played football before, not at any level. He had bad feet, bad hips, bad technique. And he earned certain nicknames such as Burnt Toast Okuda, Barbecue Chicken, whatever it was. When you looked over there, you saw meat. You were about to have lunch when you looked over there. If it was a primetime game, which it very rarely was, you were about to have dinner. But it was lunch meat. For those of you that know me as Chef, there was all types of cookery going on. He was a culinary masterpiece. He was a gourmet meal. Most people, most receivers around the league would have called that man a buffet. All you can eat. Especially DJ Metcalf, or DK Metcalf, sorry. Metcalf ate early and often after Lions fans thought that Jeffrey Okudah thought that he had shut down Justin Jefferson in man coverage by himself, no help, all day, saying it with his chest. Okay? One man, all day, by himself, locking down Justin Jefferson. Jeffrey Okudah. Lions fans were deluded to believe that he did that. And DK Metcalf exposed him the very next week. This man is on his fourth team in 4 years. Lions, Falcons, Texans, Vikings. He is going to be signing 1-year deals into perpetuity. As long as he is in the NFL, he will be a special teams player signing 1-year deals, being on different teams every year, not re-signing anything, from a number 3 overall pick. Jeffrey Okudah is one of the largest busts in the history of the NFL. And this is my personal opinion, would put him right after Jamarcus Russell. Some people might say Ryan Leaf, but there was actual debate of whether you should have drafted Ryan Leaf or Peyton Manning. Ryan Leaf he didn't have talent issues. He has substance abuse issues and things of this nature. I don't think he could handle the spotlight. He crashed out, and he snorted up all of his, NFL money and snorted his way out of the league. And he went to prison and changed his life around. I hope you continue to change your life around Ryan Leaf and you reach the highest heights that a human being can reach. But I'm putting Jeffrey Okudah right behind Jamarcus Russell. Sure, he's still in the NFL. I need him to be in a game against the Detroit Lions next season. Just one of them. I hope it's both. Somehow finding himself matched up against J-Mo. And J-Mo going off for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. I don't know what has to happen to the Vikings secondary. I don't even know if the dude's going to make the team out of camp. But I don't know what has to happen to the Vikings secondary. But I hope that man is on J-Mo somehow, some way, giving up 250 and 3 tutties. Those of you that look back fondly on Jeffrey Okudah's tenure with the Detroit Lions need to slap yourselves. Stop it. Get some help. All right, let me see what y'all saying in the chat. D Nice said, I looked at the depth chart. I seen Josh Pascal starting. I'm not going to take too much into the depth chart right now, especially since we haven't gotten to the draft yet. Tactical Sports says, please put him on J-Mo. Just a Fan says, facts. Behind the play always. D-Dub says, yep. Let's see, we got something else over here. Spirit of Detroit podcast says, I never known championships were made in March. Y'all got to control what y'all pay attention to. Now we just looking at the free agency. It's not a lot to talk about. I'll be real with you. It's not a lot to talk about. So we just talking about the grades of free agency. Barbecue chicken alert. Salty Pork Chop says, proud of the Bears, true 3-time offseason champions. Yes, they are always offseason champions. Joseph Murdoch says, Marcus was playing good football before the cheap shot from a certain AZ player. Listen, Joseph, I feel you. He played good football, and there was a cheap shot this year. And last year was something else. And the year before that, it was something else. And the year before that, and the year before that, it's always something. It is always something. That's all I'm saying. Insurance for Marcus Davenport is all. That's all. Tactical Sports said, I seen someone say that they think Okudah can play safety. Yeah, he can in the UFL. No problem. Who's looking at the depth chart in March? Some people need to find a job where I'll be until July. I know. I didn't even know they had a depth chart in March. I mean, I know there's a roster and you know the people that are going to be starting mostly, right? Like we know Hutch is as a starter. We know the starters we already have. But as far as what's going on the other side of Hutch, nah, not in March. You can't be paying attention to the depth chart for that. So, I think the next move for Jeff Okudah is the UFL. All right? I think he should swallow his pride and go learn how to play football. That's what I think he should do. I think he should go down to a team in the UFL, get developed for a couple years, and then come back up to the NFL level. And maybe at that point, he'll be able to put things together. So, please, Vikings, let this man find his way into the game. And I ain't talking about special teams. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the actual game. Covering J-Mo, covering Tim Patrick, covering St. Brown's, covering Sam Laporta, covering somebody. But I need to see that. Lupe Lion 17, what up, though? He says, hey, sir, do you think we are saving the money to have it rolled to next year? Probably. Now, the thing about Za'Darius, and I heard this earlier today, was that the possibility of him coming back is not as unlikely as we think. What may be happening is he may have wanted a certain number and the Lions didn't want to give him that number. So they're like, go ahead and shop around and see what you're going to get. Za'Darius Smith is 33 years old. Or he'll be 33 by the start of the season. Okay? We're born in the same month, 10 years apart. Okay? Obviously, he's not older. I'm just saying. But he'll be 33 by the start or week 1 of the season. So maybe the number that he was looking for is not on offer for a 33-year-old. So maybe after he goes and he looks and he sees what the Lions they offered him a number and what everyone else is offering, maybe he'll come back. Okay, he might get a couple million more here or there, but he knows the type of situation that he would be in with the Detroit Lions. He knows what he would be doing playing opposite Hutch and, whatever the rotation would look like with the rookie defensive tackles and defensive ends that we hope that Brad is going to draft this summer. I mean, this spring in April. And I think he would come back if it's only a little bit of money. If the gap ain't that big, now if we're talking about $5 million or more, Big Z is probably signing somewhere else. Somehow we got into that. Somehow we got into that. Salty Pork Chops. I wasn't even talking about your whole school. I was just talking about Jeff Oh Hell No Cuda. That's all. So Joseph Murdoch says, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Davenport will be good as a rotational player. Josh is the starter, and he needs to have a breakout season. In no world, Joseph Murdoch, in no world do I want the Detroit Lions starting defensive line to look like Hutch, Roy Lopez, DJ Reader, Josh Pascal. No, sir. No, sir. Like if it was Hutch, Roy Lopez, DJ Reader, and Marcus Davenport, that Marcus Davenport is going to start over Josh Pascal. Now, what I would say is that his snaps would be more limited. As you said, he will be a rotational player, but he would be the one to start off the rotation. Now, it depends on what happens in the draft, but as of now, I believe he would be the one starting off the rotation. I don't have a problem with Marcus Davenport starting off the rotation. Even if you got a rookie like, what was the mock draft today? Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft had us taking Mykel Williams. Okay? Mykel Williams, 6'5", Marcus Davenport, 6'6". He can learn a lot from Marcus Davenport. Right? So even if your number one overall pick is the first one off the bench, right? Because Davenport play a series, rookie come in, play the next series. Or just put Marcus Davenport in situational, maybe first and second downs, you play Marcus Davenport so he can, stop the run, and then on third downs, you bring in the rookie to rush the passer. But that's not going to be the norm. Like Marcus Davenport playing entire games, I hope they don't try to do that, because the more you play him, the more likely he is to get hurt. And that's with everybody, but especially with someone like Marcus Davenport. Tactical Sports said you're talking about his school. Chef, who would you pick with pick 28 if available? Jihad Campbell, Mike Green, Jihad Campbell. Jihad Campbell. I would pick Jihad Campbell. Number one is because Jihad Campbell can do the things that the other two can do. He can rush the passer. Mike Green rushes the passer. James Pierce rushes the passer. And actually, what I saw, I think his name is Scott Bischoff. I feel like it's not Scott Bischoff because I feel like that's a wrestler. It's Scott. So I gotta see his last name. But his breakdown, he's a big draft guy. His breakdown on James Pierce was that James Pierce is actually a better run defender right now than he is a pass rusher. So it would be something that he would have to grow into. Jihad Campbell does everything. He can get you interceptions by getting strip sacks and also by getting I'm sorry, he can get you turnovers by getting strip sacks and also by getting interceptions. Okay, where he needs to, um, shore things up and develop is just the run fits. Okay, but I think you'll have enough around him where in the beginning that's not going to be that big of an issue. You know, you still got Jack Campbell and Alex Anzalone out there. Then whoever you have on the edge, whether it's Marcus Davenport and Aiden Hutchinson or Aiden Hutchinson and somebody else. Then you got, Roy Lopez, because that's the name that I have to say because Aleem McNeil's not going to be ready day one. So you got Roy Lopez and DJ Reader. Roy Lopez, man, is serviceable. And I think the talent that he has on the defensive line here in Detroit alongside him is better than what he had in Arizona. So with those people being able to kind of clog up the running lanes as they already do, I think that'll free up Jihad to be initially better against the run. And also, it'll free him up to be able to rush the passer. So I'm definitely taking Jihad Campbell if all three of them are available. Salty Pork Chops, the best pure talent, I believe, is Jihad Campbell. The best pure talent. He does more things than everybody else. Joseph Murdoch says, if Campbell is there at 28, that's my pick. James Pierce gives me massive Jared Verse vibes, like pure talent on that guy gives him highest ceiling. I understand the dude is a head case. I'm not even talking about him being a head case. At no time during the pre-draft process last year did anybody tell you that Jared Verse is not a great pass rusher. Right? They never said that. And when I watched Jared Verse, this is why I was so pissed that we didn't get him. I watched his film at Florida State, and he was a monster. And I thought it was really unfair that the Los Angeles Rams lost Aaron Donald and then got Jared Verse. Jared Verse is projected to be a Hall of Famer. If his career continues to be what it was as a rookie, he was Defensive Rookie of the Year. If he continues to develop and go along that trajectory, how is he not a Hall of Famer? That's all I'm saying. It's Bischoff. Okay. A lot of people thought the Lions should have drafted Malik Willis, bro. But Malik Willis was, I think, a product of the hype machine. The issue with Malik Willis was a lot of people, including myself. What year? Malik Willis has been in the league 2 years now, right? So 2 years ago, that was year 2 of Goff. And you did see strides from the middle of the season on. But there were still questions about whether Goff was the guy. And that's where all the Malik Willis stuff came from. Right? I think year 3, Goff took the biggest jump, right, into the elite conversation. And then year 4, he was in the MVP conversation. But yeah, there were a lot of people that wanted Malik Willis. Willis was in the Hutch draft. Yeah, so that was year 2 of Goff, right? Yeah. So that was after, that was after year 1. So there was like no sign of progression. Because Goff's year 1 was awful. It was awful, but he also didn't have talent around him. Who do I want at 60 if Holmes doesn't move up? It depends on who he gets at 28. Right? It depends on who he gets at 28. If we and this is assuming he stays at 28. So I'll just say it depends on who he gets in the first round. How high he moves up in the first round will dictate if we still have pick number 60 anyway. So I would have to see. Now, let's say he was able to get Jihad Campbell. He was able to sit there and go number 28 without trading up. Jihad Campbell falls. Now, I don't think it will because the tape was already the tape. The combine was excellent. I mean, Daniel Jeremiah had him in his mock draft at number 9 to the Saints. Number 9. So I don't think he's available at 28 by any stretch of the imagination. Now, let's say he is available at 28. Then it depends on who else has not been drafted by that time. Someone that would be available would be like a Jared Ivey. I'd be fine with him. I don't know. I don't think a Nick Scorton is going to be available at 60, but we would have to see how it would shake out first. But the position that I would want if we got Jihad Campbell would be edge. Because Jihad Campbell's not an edge. He's a linebacker / edge. So I would still want to get an edge or maybe even, forget it, a defensive tackle. Right? But we wasn't going to draft no Malik Willis in the first round like Bischoff wanted. And yes, he is related to Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff. Okay, there we go. Okay. Is that his cousin or his brother? Nobody wants Jack Sawyer. Like, I know who, I know he went to your school. But there's just something about his mental makeup, a certain softness to him that I don't think the Detroit Lions are going to covet. Wouldn't be mad if a guard is day 2. Okay, you think it's his brother. Okay, cool. That's cool. He's making his own way. He doesn't even mention his brother. Depending on what round 1 is. He said, I'll disown the Lions if they draft Jack Sawyer. All right, guys. Today's show is gonna be short because I have to make some impromptu visits. Trying to get some stuff taken care of with my car. It was supposed to get swapped out yesterday. It didn't because of a very small chip on my windshield. But I think I got that fixed. The guy was here fixing it in the garage. So I don't have a whole lot of time today because if I don't get it today, then I won't be able to get it till tomorrow maybe. So I'm going to roll out. No. Salty pork chops. It would be if they wanted to sponsor my show, they'd have to pay me millions and then I'd still be uncomfortable taking it. It's like if Diddy offers you millions, you know that if you take it, it's going to be some consequences. I used to pray for times like this. All right, dreams and nightmares. I'm pretty sure that we know the part why it was a nightmare. Anyway, Once again, y'all, appreciate you for hanging out, stopping by, coming through. Make sure you smash that like button. Tomorrow, hopefully, Easy will come through. And I'll put everything on StreamYard. I know it's a little bit laggy. However, if he's able to come through, then he can just join the show, and I don't have to try to do the stuff I tried to do last Wednesday, which didn't work. All right. Once again, Motor City Cats back at it. Came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we are out of here. Peace.